Hi and welcome to this week's Peace Diaries number 9. I'm Helen Jane Rose. I'm an author, channel energy healer and automatic writer. And I'll be reading out verbatim the report that I write through automatic writing weekly. And then my lovely partner Jeb will be joining me and he'll help to unpack the channeled messages and bring his wisdom and perspective, often from his own practice. He's a acupuncturist and a cranial sacral therapist and an energy healer, and so he kind of helps to unpack the messages and bring his perspective, which can be really helpful because sometimes they're a little bit hard to understand in a sense of like what they're saying. It's a little bit sort of high perspective, so it's kind of like bringing it down to our kind of humanness so that we can digest it a bit better. Okay, so I'm going to read you what I wrote this morning. Welcome, beautiful souls, to this week's Peace Diaries. This week we would like to talk to you on the subject of expectancy and how it can affect your ability to be present and have faith. So what do we mean by this? On the path of surrender, situations that you find yourself guided into, based on being in the flow, can seem surprising and often do not make sense to how your mind thinks things should be. This is because logic is still running its program within you, and often logic can be a helpful tool when following on from what the soul is suggesting that you do. Take, for example, you're guided and following where the flow wants to lead you, yet it doesn't make logical sense to you. It may feel off and not something you should be doing based on what your mind thinks is good for you. However, if your mind has become firmly in the passenger seat and the soul has become the driver of your life, you will feel differently within you. For the soul self trusts exactly where you are, even if it doesn't make logical sense to the mind. For the mind is no longer in control. It is following the soul self, which with as much faith, if you like. So what does expectancy mean in this context? It means that based on logic, you are expecting an outcome. When that outcome doesn't occur, you lose faith based on logic. You view the situation from the mind's perspective rather than the soul self. Desire for a specific outcome can cause distortion in your energy field. A distortion between having faith and also doubting. To have faith is to trust that no matter what, you know that the highest outcome is occurring for you. You have surrendered up your complete need to control any situation, trusting that it will unfold exactly as it's supposed to. There is a poem from the coming times that we would ask to be read out to you. Okay, so I'm just going to read that from the Coming Times book that they want me to read out. And this book was written in lockdown. Faith and trust in the divine you is where we are trying to elevate you to living in the higher vibrations where the fear of the world cannot touch you. As you let your soul's love embody and lead you, you will start to flow with its current unique to you. As the magic of surrender works within you, you will come to know the miracle of letting go. Let go and surrender to the master within you. It knows exactly where it is guiding you to. That's all that is really being asked of you, to surrender to the divine you. Divine flow is such a hard concept for the mind to truly understand, and for that reason it can only be taken so far until the soul self becomes so strong within you that it matters not what the mind thinks anymore. For the soul self has taken up the space within you, if you like, where the mind would have been directing you. We will remind you again that the soul speaks to you through the inner silence. The soul never speaks to you in actual words. It speaks through silent downloads and intuitive hits. Its way of communicating with you is very different to how you have been used to. Stay in your lane as much as you possibly can. It can be easy to be swayed by other people's opinions of what they think you should say and do, but start trusting yourself more. Really practice fine-tuning what feels good and what doesn't to you. That's a good place to start. Does it feel good to me? Or does something feel off that often we choose to ignore? Do I feel settled within myself, or is there a feeling within me that is signalling a red flag for me? We are speaking in colloquial terms to try and help in the understanding of what we say, which is nothing new. But you'd be amazed how long it takes to actually change a pattern of behaviour from within you. Yet once you do, you have freed yourself that little bit more, and you will quite literally feel lighter within you. We love you, the DC. Okay, so as always, I'm just going to tune in and just see if there's any additional messages, guidance or meditation that wants to come through me. We wish to just for a moment bring your awareness to the concept, the idea of trusting in self. And we ask you, where is self? And we wish to draw you behind your thinking. We wish to help to draw you to the space of silence beyond your thinking mind that you always have access to, that at any moment you can choose to revert to if you like. And we wish to just remind you again of the idea of just stopping within your day and searching, if you like, inwardly for that silent space within you. And we just wish for a moment for you to bring your awareness to your left hand and have your palm facing upwards. And just using your awareness to place your focus there. Placing your focus with your mind's eye on your left hand. Just focusing your attention there. Just trying to hold your concentration on focusing there. As if with your inner eyes and your awareness, You are just bringing everything focusing to that place, the palm of your left hand. And just imagining that your guides are placing a gift there unique to you. For some of you, you may visualize something. For others, you may not. Perhaps you may get a tingling or a sense of heat. Perhaps some form of acknowledgement that there is a connection being made between you and your guide. Just sit there for a moment. It is also perfect not to feel or sense anything, but to trust that in this moment you are being given a gift that isn't necessary for the logic of the mind to understand, but for the soul self to trust. And now bring your attention to the back of your neck, to the top of your spine. Just bring your awareness there. Just hold your attention to the top of your spine. Just hold your awareness there, bringing your attention to the top of your spine. And just imagining, opening, allowing the light, if you like, to enter energetically into that physical space within you, the top of your spine. You're just opening and allowing the light to enter there. And you're just sitting and allowing that to take place for you. And while that is taking place for you, you are just noticing how you feel within you, what perhaps is coming up for you, or perhaps you are feeling more space within you. There is no right or wrong, just dropping your awareness into how you are feeling in this moment within you. Just noticing, feeling, sensing and observing all at the same time. Just sitting for a few more moments. And when you become ready to open your eyes, to know that there is no necessity to have to come back as such, to know that you are always connected to this light, and you are always connected to the guidance of your guides, and that strengthening that connection is something intentional to state that you know within you, you have the belief within you that it is possible to strengthen your connection with your guides and to strengthen the light that you hold within you. So as you open your eyes, just knowing that those states are possible to be with for every moment of your day, and there is no necessity to come back from anything. We love you. Okay, I hope you found that useful. And I'm now going to ask Jed to come and join me.
So thank you once again, Helen, on the DC, wherever you are. Beautiful little meditation at the end. Those different components that help you to find stillness that we've spoken about. So the body awareness and distracting the mind and the imaginary component. Those three things for me seem to occupy all parts of the human being, if you like, that enables you to go into that still space, especially if you manage to keep them all going at the same time. And the other aspect of it was the wave particle effect. So if you focus on something, so the first one was the palm of your hand, so you're putting energy into that place, and the other one was the spine. I didn't actually feel anything in the palm of my hand, but it was interesting observing my, I guess, childlike thoughts about getting a present. Because I wanted a real present to appear in my hand. But you know, slightly joking with it, I think, because they referred to it as not what the logic mind wants, or the idea that the present is something you get for being good, or it's something you can open and unwrap. It's probably something greater than that, but we can't measure it, see it, or feel it, so we get a bit annoyed. But that's all right. We thank you for the gift, whatever that is. But I did feel something a lot in the top of my spine, and moving down my spine. There was a lot of, I guess, positive sensations. It felt kind of vibey, and so I was happy with that feeling, and that definitely occupied my mind. Again, you're putting awareness into that place at the top of the spine, which I assume is either throat chakra or the one above it. So you're putting your focus and attention and putting energy into it and making it real, I suppose. Active, I suppose. Rather than real, active, you're activating it. And it was nice. So thank you very much.
I still feel a little bit spacey from it, I have to say. Yeah, and sorry, I've got a really itchy face. I keep feeling like I want to itch my face. I don't know what that's about. Right.
Maybe it's your gift.
Maybe.
Of eternal youth.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
I would.
Right, so getting into the nitty-gritty of this week's report. They open with the subject of expectancy and how it can affect our ability to be present and have faith. And how do you see it in terms of how they're referring to expectancy? What perspective?
Well, again, they're slightly playing with us, aren't they? Especially with the idea of a present. So there's an expectancy on that very basic level, but in terms of the spiritual path, if you like, we want the world to be perfect, don't we? We want everyone to be peaceful, we want everyone to be joyful, we want everyone to be healthy and have as much money as they want, and all of those things. And most people haven't got most of those things, if any. And there's a frustration that comes with that, I think. On a personal level, I do feel like I'm making progress. I'm a human, so I want more progress.
Yeah.
So it's managing the frustration. But I understand what they're saying, because the expectancy causing the frustration then puts you in distortion.
Yeah.
When you're no longer still and you're no longer able to access that peace, because you're in a belief system where you haven't got something. And all these, great sort of speakers on manifestation talk about the way to manifest really is to feel that you already have it. So if you're in a state of expectancy, you're at the opposite end of that, which is also frustrating. So a lot of frustration in today's message. But, yeah, I get it, and it's not. I don't think it's a case of lowering your expectations. Is it? I think there's a difference between the word expectancy and expectations. We should have very high expectations, because
absolutely.
we're capable of anything.
Yeah.
But it's expecting it to arrive in the morning is the thing that I think they're trying to steer us away from.
Yeah, I think so. I think exactly that the expectation of, like they say, of like an outcome to be how our mind thinks it should be, and when we're supposed to just say, and I suppose it's that thing about manifestation where they say you kind of like you see it as if you've got it, but then you let go. So I think that they're sort of alluding to those lines where you just let go of any outcome, which is hard to do when we're human.
Yeah, it is hard, but the human mind is limited. And it's based on history and what you know, or what you've seen, or what you've seen others do. And how do you know that's for you? How do you know that's your best option or outcome? So I guess it's setting yourself free from expectancy, and leaning into the idea of something amazing is possible and probable, and just relaxing around your desires, keeping them broad, but staying in that positive vibration as much as you can.
Yeah, and even when like the curveballs appear and our mind thinks, why has that happened? That wasn't part of our mind's plan. And it's almost like, well, hopefully in hindsight we'll see on the other side of it why that happened. And I guess we're training to try and stay in that state of knowing that everything is in a sense happening for our highest good.
Well, I mean, as you're talking now, the Wizard of Oz comes to mind. It was such a beautiful story. And following the yellow brick road, they didn't really know where they were going. They had an idea that there was some destination and some utopia, but along the way, each of the different character types had to navigate a deep wound within themselves in order to get to the destination, I suppose. There would be no story, there would be no Wizards of Oz story if they just dreamt up immediately the outcome of the end, which actually wasn't a great outcome, was it, in terms of what they were desiring. But we're in our own Wizard of Oz story, and we just help each other when we do hit those bumps in the road. Pick each other up and help each other reflect each other's journey, so that you don't miss out on the learnings, the things that have made you wiser, greater and wiser.
Yeah, I like that analogy of the yellow brick road. Yeah, there's a lot more behind that film, isn't there, when you dive
super
into
high
it?
consciousness.
Yeah.
That's why it's lasted forever, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so next I wanted to for you to kind of discuss, they bring up about logic and how logic can be a hindrance, but it can also be helpful. And that's quite confusing, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I've ruminated over these passages quite a few times. And it's not just logic that's I was wrestling with. It's the idea of there are different degrees of soul in the human being based on how much mind is in is dominating the situation. Because your soul is your soul. It doesn't need really to learn anything. It needs to experience. And it has to surrender to our free will. And even that opens up a big questions. Who is our free will? Who is that? But anyway, that's for another day. We won't complicate it too much. But what I felt was that logic was assigned to the soul, and these are my words, and you mustn't sort of just take them on board. This is what I felt, that the logic was assigned to the soul, but the mind had kidnapped it. And the mind was using logic for its own use. But because the logic is assigned to the soul, it will always go back to the soul if the soul is allowed or invited in or allowed in some way. So the logic from a soul-led perspective is a beautiful thing. From a mind kidnapped perspective, can be quite difficult and disruptive and unhelpful.
Yeah, because then it has us questioning so much, right? So it almost works. Then it works against us in a way. Interesting.
I mean, so what does logic do? From a mind perspective, that's an easier one, because it's the mind is polluting logic with its history and its fears and its doubts. So it's saying, this isn't logical, we need to do that and go down that way instead. Soul-led logic, it's the opposite. It's like, of course this is the way forward, because it's got insight from the soul. And it's about us finding trust and faith in soul-led logic, and challenging or dismissing mind-led logic. That's how I perceived it all. Please feel free to throw your comments in and see how you've perceived that. I've never actually heard it discussed before by anybody, that the logic as a tool in that way. But it makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, so they say, for the soul self trusts this is basically exactly what you've just said. For the soul self trusts exactly where you are, even if it doesn't make logical sense to the mind. So that's our ultimate place where we all want to be. So that the mind is the passenger and our soul is driving. Where do you feel you kind of sit within that? Are you finding more that you notice when your mind is kind of like piping up or questioning? And do you know what I mean?
I think I notice more, but when I speak to my clients in clinic, when they've got themselves out of a difficult situation, it's never been what they were or how they were thinking they were going to get out of it. Because the mind only knows what it knows, and the soul knows that there's just an infinite other ways of doing it. But even the amount of times where people get experiences of like aha moments or inspiration, we still don't believe it properly. I mean, how many times
Yeah.
Do we need to experience things? But when you ask someone about it, they absolutely acknowledge that something else, something special, intervened. I think, but the key is recognizing that intervention as you, not some angel or mythical being, or even God, whatever you want to call it. It's coming from your higher mind, that whisper, that intuition, that thing when you wake up in the morning with a great idea, or it is you. And the DC repeat a lot about repetition. The human species, it must be very frustrating for them, the amount of times they're helping us and our own higher selves, where we're taking so long to really embody that and notice it as our truth. But I feel like I'm getting closer. And I feel that from other people as well. Pretty much everyone you talk to on this path talks about numbers they've seen now, or double digits and triple digits, and I'm sure there's some truth. Well, there's definitely truth in numerology, and I'm sure there's some helpful guidance, but I think that one of the main ways that people see those numbers is just someone tapping. They're playing with us to let you know we're listening, we're watching, we're hearing, and an advisory capacity. And the more you notice the numbers, the more you'll notice other things.
Yeah, it made me smile yesterday when both boys were on the phone to each other and they both said, it's 1717 on the 17th. And it's like, I think it must be some kind of like soul recognition, that the excitement of that is.
But I think there's a generation now that that's what they talk about. That's what they know, and which is beautiful, wonderful. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And it will lead them into something. It will lead us into something.
And I'm sure that they are all, I don't want to say this is a generalisation about the younger generation, but they seem to have more of a sense of themselves in a way, in terms of where I think we've kind of been on this path for quite a long time, and it was always, like you say, it was always about the kind of external, about the guidance, and about whereas it's sort of been, we've had to sort of be trained to remember that actually it's us, and that to empower ourselves almost. But I feel like they're kind of starting to do it more naturally.
What, because they think about themselves a lot?
Probably. That's a good point, because they've been
which is fine.
Maybe maybe that's what's happening, right?
That's absolutely fine. And if it leads to something wonderful, then think about yourselves some more.
Maybe that's what it is, and that they trust themselves more based on that. Good point. Very good point. I thought it was interesting that they asked me to read out the poem in the book, because there's lots of different things in the book. There's lots of affirmations and lots of intentions, but it was interesting that they said about the poem, because it actually fits so perfectly with what the kind of message is today. Like, faith and trust in the divine you is where we're trying to elevate you to living in the higher vibrations, where the fear of the world cannot touch you. As you let your soul's love embody and lead you, you'll start to flow with its current unique to you. As the magic of surrender works within you, you will come to know the miracle of letting go. Let go and surrender to the master within you. It knows exactly where it's guiding you to. That's all that's really asked of you, to surrender to the divine you. And it sounds so easy, doesn't it? When it's like that, it sounds so easy, and it is such a beautiful state, because when you get those moments of it, when you know that you're in that flow, and you know that you're trusting, and you know that you have faith, it just feels magical. And I completely and utterly believe that it's a possible state, but it's like how we, what's the word I'm looking for? How we expand that state. There
was one line that stuck out in the poem for me, and it was, as you let your soul's love embody and lead you. Because I don't know whether you perceive the soul yourself, but I've imagined it as this sort of higher, wiser being. It's kind of a teacher energy, and it's got a job to do to help us. But they've really softened it and made it kind of real by like acknowledging your soul's love, because the soul loves you enough to allow you free will, which is why logic can be both a help and a hindrance, and why we make mistakes and all of those things. And it's just added another dimension, I think, for me. If you lean into the fact that your soul loves you, you would want to love it back. And maybe then there's a meeting, coming closer together in that respect of that energy.
Yeah, I like that. And then that also links in with what they put in the book, which they referred to last week, about I intend to surrender to the agenda of my soul. It's almost like, like you were saying, as the soul loves us, we love the soul. And it's like, of course I want to go by what you want is best for me, because I know that you
I want to love you back,
Yeah, so it's kind of sort of,
It's more of a partnership than a teacher-child relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I felt for it. So
that's lovely.
I will be looking through the book again for more of those. And the book being in the coming times, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where you look at it again and again, and you see different things in it.
Yeah, very beautiful. Thank you.
I wanted to highlight the bit where they talk about, we'll remind you again that the soul speaks to you through inner silence. The soul never speaks to you in actual words. It speaks through silent downloads and intuitive hints. So it's a really different way of communicating to what we're used to in terms of our mind just chitter-chatting. It's totally different. How do you understand it?
How do I understand how my soul speaks to me?
Yeah.
I think it just drops in. It's kind of like you get a whole load of information in one go that you haven't actually thought about. You've not gone through this train of thought that is putting linear bits one after the other. It's like a path of following breadcrumbs. It just comes in as a complete download. It's like how that can't possibly be from anywhere else. I mean, with you get the downloads that turn into words, don't they? To write.
Yes, but I don't hear them as words. So it's like it completely bypasses, like they're saying, it totally bypasses it. In a way, it's almost as if that my hand, like if I'm writing, it's almost as if my hand is just writing. There's no, but at the same time, exactly like you say, it feels like I know something's happening. It's being downloaded, and then it's coming out as words, but I didn't hear it as words. So it's a completely different way.
Yeah, so it's another download in a block.
Exactly.
When I'm doing this sort of intuitive energy healing in clinic, it comes in pictures, not words.
Interesting.
And the pictures can last a lifetime. They're metaphoric. No one's ever come to me and said that needle you stuck in me back in whatever year has changed my life, but they've often said something that you said to me. But they were not my words. They've come from an image or a picture, some description that only they understood. It's tempting to put your own thoughts around it, but more often than not, they've got a different perspective on it, because it means something. It's a picture of 1,000 words, and so there are so many different ways that we can communicate with our higher selves. We kind of know now, don't we? People talk about it all the time. Perceptions and just nudges and intuition and gut feeling is another big one. The biggest probably, gut feeling. You just know, and then you kick yourself saying, why didn't I listen to myself? So we need to listen to ourselves a bit more.
And our loving soul self says, it's okay, we're going to try again. We're going to give you another situation.
Here comes another one.
Let's see this time. It must be like, yay, okay.
One day we'll get the message.
Yeah.
Or believe the message.
Yeah. And I think there are just to add to that, I think there's so many different ways. I feel like we've all got a unique way as well, in terms of listening to our gut, or in terms of like the pictures or the downloads, that it's about us. I as much as we can be taught it, I feel like it's for us to understand our unique way of communicating ourselves. Yeah.
Well, as you were talking, a picture dropped in. It was of my old school. And the different teachers that were there. Because you can have half a dozen maths teachers, and every single one of them will have a different way of teaching.
Yeah.
And you might, resonate with one of them and not another. And so every single one of us has an opportunity to teach in our unique way, to share. So like, if you ever, wanted to step in the teaching role in the sort of spirit path, and think, one of the things that will come into your mind is the ego saying, well, everyone's doing that already, there's no point doing that. There's absolutely every point of doing it, because your unique vibration is a match for someone else's unique vibration, and they're waiting for you to start, to get on with it. And clearly that message is for me as well, so
it's for all of us.
I should take that on board.
It's for all of us. Yeah, I was hiding under a stone for I don't know how long, so it's
a heavy stone. So the last paragraph, the DC, or the last two paragraphs in the transmission, they were referring to them using colloquial language, and I didn't understand what they meant at that, but when reading for it, it's very simple language that they use, that we would use. And that's how they're communicating to us, so that we understand things in a clear way. And they refer to the idea of how long it actually takes to change an inherited pattern, and not to put us off, but it does require repetition, it does require a lot of work, and I think also some humour in your own behaviour.
Definitely
I mean, you
helps.
really need to laugh at yourself sometimes, because it's pretty hilarious, but not to take us too seriously, and not to think that the utopian outcome is that far away or impossible, because it's not. We're moving closer to it every day. Every time you wake up in the morning, you're a day closer to it. And it's really, they're asking us to fine tune how we feel, and how we feel into our intuition, and how we feel into information that's coming to us from a higher source. They're saying as you do this, the load will lighten more and more. You'll feel lighter, because not just because you're allowing more light to come in, but because you're unloading a whole load of baggage that doesn't belong to you. And so keep doing it. It's really important. Some of this stuff might sound repetitive, but it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. I mean, just if you can recall the amount of spiritual books you've read in your time, where you've read them and gone, oh my God, that's amazing. You try and remember a single word from them, unless you've read the book over and over again. You don't, you forget. So this is really important work. It's part of our teaching, is to reprogram you to reprogram yourself, and in the same context, doing it for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's all from me.
That's all from me.
That's all from us.
That's all from us. We hope you've enjoyed it and taken something to help, maybe to assist you that little bit more.
Thank you very much for tuning in, listening, watching. We really appreciate it. And we hope you can tune in next week.
Okay.
So thank you very much. Sending love and blessings.
And bye for now.
Ciao for now.